Nikon D300S comes with a 12.3 megapixel CMOS sensor. It offers a D-movie mode, which records high-definition movie clips in stereo sound, as well as live view with autofocus. It has an ISO sensitivity of 200 to 3200, extendable to an ISO equivalent range of 100 to 6400. It also has a dual memory card slot, which supports a CF and SD card, as well as a 3-inch 920K dots VGA LCD. It maintains the same 51.AF system of the D300 and achieves 7 frames per second continuous shooting, reaching a high of 8 frames per second with the optional MB-D300 battery. The Nikon D300S comes with a user's manual, quick guide, software CD, an eyepiece cover, neck strap, a rechargeable battery, power cord, battery charger, AV cable, and USB cable. Of course, you also have the Nikon D300S body itself. Picking up the Nikon D300S, it is virtually the same as the Nikon D300. The size of the body is identical, the weight is very similar, only about 15 grams difference, and you're not going to be able to tell just from hefting it. The layout of the buttons is also identical. You have your shutter on-off button, mode button, exposure value, same display for the top-up, your quality button, white balance, ISO, as well as your shutter control. Same layout buttons again in the back. You have your playback button, delete button, menu button, help lock button, your zoom out, zoom in, your OK button, your multi-selector, live view button, info button, and your focus area. Of course, you have your back dial and your front dial as well. On the side of the camera, you have your pop-up control, your flash mode, as well as your continuous shooting focusing control here as well. Connections, you have your AV out, your HDMI connection, your mic in, your DC in, as well as your USB connection as well. The main difference though, that will be appreciated by all of us, is the dual memory card slot. Now, you're able to have an SD card as well as a CF card in the camera at the same time. Now you can either use one card as your main shooting card and the other as an overflow, so that once you fill up one card, it automatically overflows to the other. Or you can use it simultaneously, where you can use it as a RAW to one card and JPEG to another card, or as a backup, in which case the same image is copied to both cards, so now you have more peace of mind. Powering on the Nikon D300S, you can have a look at the display of your settings without using a top display by pressing the info button. Now this is exactly the same as you would see in the D300, where you have your aperture setting, for example, your shutter speed, your ISO, number of shots possible, white balance, which memory card you're recording to. Now if you were to set, you can set your picture control, set your exposure locks, your bracketing, your preview button, active delighting, high ISO noise reduction, etc. Entering into the menu, you would see that the menu is the same. However, you have the extra option of selecting which memory slot is your primary memory slot, as well as the function of your secondary slot, whether you're using it for overflow, for backup, or for RAW to your primary and JPEG to your secondary. Image quality, image size, live view mode, whether you're using tripod live focusing or handheld. Handheld of course uses the quick focus, which switches off your live view before returning to it after the autofocusing is done. Your movie setting, whether you want it at your maximum 720p at widescreen or at your more lower VGA level quality. Your other settings are all very similar. Your custom settings, your setup, retouch menu, and of course your custom My menu. With the Nikon D300S, the continuous shooting speed has been increased from 6 frames per second to 7 frames per second. Pressing live view takes you into live view. You can use the autofocus button to help you autofocus. As I'm not in the highest quality, you can see that the video actually has a display of 20 minutes limit. Once I actually start recording by pressing the button at the multi-selector, you would see a countdown for the recording. Now if I were to go back into menu and to set the movie size to the highest quality, you would see that the time is reduced to 5 minutes, and you can see the countdown going as I start the recording. Autofocus during recording is possible, but it's very sluggish.